All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something huge, something that's totally flipping the script on how businesses compete. For decades, companies have built these moats to protect themselves, right? Well, thanks to AI, those moats, they're not just getting weaker, they're becoming completely, utterly obsolete. Let's get into why.
So, picture this. It's March 2023. Sam Altman from OpenAI gets on stage and shows GPT-4 turning a doodle on a napkin into a fully working website. The tech world was just stunned. But the real story here isn't the magic trick. It's how fast that magic just became normal. Within days, everybody had this incredible power.
And that is the real kicker here. This thing that should have been a massive competitive advantage. I mean, the ability to create stuff instantly. It wasn't an advantage for very long at all. It just became the baseline, what everyone expects. It's like having electricity. I mean, it's essential, right? But it doesn't make you special. Okay, but here's the twist, and this is really the whole point of what we're talking about today. What if this incredible new power, this godlike speed of creation, isn't a silver bullet at all? What if it's actually a trap? What if it's creating a hidden, way more serious challenge that most companies are just not ready for? So that brings us to this idea of the great unbundling of advantage. We're about to see how all those traditional business moats, the defenses that companies spent billions building, are getting totally washed away. Okay, let's start with the big one, speed. For years, it was all about ship faster. Companies built their entire cultures around 2-week sprints just to get a tiny edge. And now, an AI can spit out a complete feature from a sentence in, like, seconds. That whole advantage? Poof, gone. Wiped out in an instant.
All right, what about content? So you built this huge marketing team, right? You're cranking out 50 high-quality articles a month, feeling pretty good about it. But now your competitor can just generate 500 or 5,000. When everyone can create infinite content, volume isn't an advantage anymore. It's just noise.
And get this, it even hits your deepest institutional knowledge. Those special processes your company spent like 20 years perfecting? Well, an AI can just read your docs, look at a few examples, and learn those patterns in minutes. Decades of wisdom basically turned into a commodity, just like that.
So here's the bottom line. We are watching a fundamental shift here. When the act of creating something new becomes basically free and instant for literally everyone, any advantage that was built on how hard it was to create stuff, it just evaporates, all at once. The old rules are just gone.
So, if all the old ways of competing are gone, what's left? Where's the new battleground? This is where everything changes. The real fight has moved to a completely new place: verification.
Okay, if you remember one thing from this, let it be this. The problem isn't, can we build it anymore? Now it's, okay, we just built this thing in 30 seconds. Is it any good? Is it safe? Does it even do what we wanted it to do? The bottleneck has moved from creation to verification.
And that leads us to this brand new, super important metric: verification velocity. Look, it's not about how fast you can spit out code anymore. It's about how fast your organization can confidently say, yep, this AI-generated output is good to go. This is the new speed.
And you can really see this flip right here. The old way of working, it was all about creation time. It took weeks, maybe months to build something, and then a few hours to check it. Now, creation takes minutes, but that verification part, it's become this giant, scary question mark. This is where the winners and losers are going to be decided.
This table really nails the real-world difference. You've got Company A, they just hand out AI tools to their developers. What happens? They generate a ton of code, sure, but their manual review process just gets buried. They actually end up moving slower than before AI. But Company B, they thought ahead. They built a verification system first. They ship 7 times faster. And after a year, they're running 100 experiments, while Company A is just drowning in a backlog.
So what does this look like over time? Well, this is where it gets really crazy. These new advantages, they don't just add up, they multiply. They feed off each other, creating a lead that just gets bigger and bigger, faster and faster. It compounds.
So the book Artificial Agency actually breaks down 5 of these new moats. It all starts with verification velocity, which we've been talking about. But then you have coordination intelligence, basically how well your teams and systems work together. Then learning velocity, how fast you learn from what you do. Agency density, having a team of proactive problem solvers. And finally, pattern libraries, your own unique playbook of what works. And each one builds on the others.
And you can see how they all lock together in this incredible flywheel. Faster verification means you can run more experiments, right? Which means you learn faster. That learning makes your teams work together better, and a place that's moving fast and learning fast, that attracts the best people. And what do? They make your verification even faster, and the whole thing just spins and accelerates.
I mean, look at these numbers. They're just mind-blowing. In year 1, you're running maybe 70 times more experiments. Okay, huge. But by year 2, it's 200 times. Year 3, over 500 times. We're not talking about a small lead anymore. This is a totally different ballgame.
And this leads to a pretty harsh reality for anyone thinking, I'll just wait and see how this plays out. It's a paradox, a catch-22, where the very act of trying to catch up makes you fall even further behind.
It comes down to this really powerful idea in economics called path dependency. Basically, once a leader gets way out in front in a system like this, where the returns just keep compounding, the follower is kind of stuck. You can't just copy what they did because by the time you're done, they've already lapped you again.
And this timeline lays it out perfectly. So Company A finally decides to change, but they're already 50 products behind. Now, the transformation itself takes years, and it actually slows them down at first. Meanwhile, Company B's flywheel is just screaming along. So what happens? By the time Company A finishes their big transformation, the gap hasn't closed. It's even wider. They're further behind than when they started.
So, companies that fall behind get caught in these 3 classic traps. First, they just grab the new AI tools without changing how they work. So what do they get? AI-generated messes, but faster. Second, they try to restructure while they're still in the race, which is like trying to change a tire while you're driving 70 miles an hour on the highway. And the third one, and this one is a killer, is the talent exodus. Your best people, they don't stick around. They leave the chaos for the team that's already winning.
So all of this really leads to one pretty stark conclusion. We are in this very short, very critical window of time, and the choices that are made right now will have permanent consequences. It's really a moment to either transform or, well, accept you're going to become obsolete.
And the analysis suggests that window is maybe 2 to 3 years. That's it. That's the time you have to build this verification-first way of working. After that, the compounding advantages of the leaders create a gap that is basically impossible to close. The system just tips.
So that leaves us with one final thought. The age of just making things is over. We're in the age of verifying things. The whole game is changing, the new moats are being built right now, and that window to get started is closing fast. The only question is, which side of that moat are you going to be on?